spent the better part of my life asking the wrong people who I was and accepting their answers as data. I'm gonna tell you what I know now about where that information is supposed to come from. I asked my performance. It said you are what you produce. In the years I didn't produce enough, I was not enough. An unsustainable equation I tried to sustain for a decade. I asked my reputation. It said you are what they think, and what they think changes based on information you can't control, which is a foundation that moves. I asked my worst moments. They said you are everything you've done wrong, and I didn't forget it for a long time, which is different from repentance, and I confused them. And eventually I ran out of sources. They gave me a consistent answer, and I asked something different. Not who am I, but whose am I? And the answer to that question doesn't change. I know whose I am, and that answer's who I am. I know whose I am. No longer asking them. I am not my performance. I am not my reputation. I am not my worst moment. I know whose I am, and that's enough information to build a life on. Ephesians 2:10. I am his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works he prepared. Workmanship, not accident created, not accumulated, for good works prepared before the problems arrive. Romans 8:38. Nothing can separate me from the love of God. I tested that claim in some of the years that should have been disqualifying, and the claim held, which is the kind of data that changes where you go for identity information. I know
the world will keep offering its version of who you are,
based on what you produce and what you've done,
and you have a choice
about which ledger you use. I chose the one written before I arrived. It calls me by name, that says workmanship, that says nothing can separate, that says I knew you before I formed you. That ledger has never been revised based on what happened next, and I live by that one now. I say it to myself before I say anything else in the morning. Before the world gets to say its version, I say it first. So whatever they say after is secondary information to something I already know.
I know whose I am.
Workmanship, not accident.
It's not this.
Whose I am. That's enough. That's always enough. I wanna tell you something about the goodness of God that I know to be true, not because it feels true every morning, but because I've tested it. In the mornings it didn't feel true, and it helped. The goodness of God is not a feeling I receive, it's a fact I return to. And returning to a fact feels different than receiving a feeling, because feelings require conditions, and the goodness of God does not. I've declared it in the hospital waiting room. I've declared it in the year the business failed. I've declared it in the months when heaven felt like a recording, and the declaration landed differently in those rooms than it does in the easy ones. But it landed, it's true in all of them, which is the only data that matters. And I wanna tell you something. about Psalm 34:8, which says, taste and see that the Lord is good.
Taste.
An active verb, not receive passively.
Taste.
Bring yourself to it, engage with it, actively encounter it, and see what you find. Good whether I feel it or not, that's the testimony I'm standing on. Good whether I feel it or not depending on the morning's condition.
Taste and see,
that's the instruction, not wait and feel.
good whether I feel it or not.
I've tasted it in the worst conditions, and it's still good.
Still good.
Yeah. I tasted it in the season when the diagnosis arrived, and I couldn't construct a narrative where it was obviously good. And I declared it anyway, not as performance as the decision to stand on something more reliable than my ability to see the goodness from where I was standing. And I'm standing here, which is on the other side of that season, and I can see things now that I couldn't see then. In the goodness that I declare without seeing was producing something I couldn't perceive while it was being produced. Taste and see, not feel and know. Taste requires the approach and the active engagement with the goodness that is present, whether or not the conditions support the feeling. Good whether I feel it or not. Taste and see, not wait and feel.
Good whether I feel it or not.
I've tasted it in the worst, and it helps.
Still good.
Still good. I wanna be clear about something that could be misunderstood in what I'm saying. I'm not saying pretend it doesn't hurt. I'm not saying perform the piece when the piece isn't present. I'm saying
Under the hurt,
under the season, under the morning, that doesn't feel like goodness. The goodness is structural, it's in the foundation, not the weather. And you can acknowledge the weather and stand on the foundation
simultaneously.
and that simultaneous standing is the most honest and most powerful version of faith I've ever practiced. So I declare it today, not because today is easy, because it's true today, the same way it was true in the hard ones. And I've stopped waiting for the feeling to confirm the fact.
I let the fact
Carry the feeling through the mornings
when the feeling
doesn't show up first.
good whether I feel it or not.
Still good, still true. Good in the hospital,
Good in the waiting room.
good in the year it didn't feel like it.
Still good.
Taste and see. Still good, still good. His goodness holds. I've been meaning to write this for a long time, and I keep putting it off because I don't know how honest to be with someone who still has to live through everything that made me who I am. Dear me at 17, first, you're not as tough as you think. The toughness is a costume you put on so early you forgot you were wearing it, and it kept you from things that would have helped you for the next 20 years. You're gonna make decisions that feel inevitable in the moment, and I want you to know from the other side of them, some of them are and some of them aren't. And you can't always tell which in the moment, which is probably what I would have told you that you wouldn't have heard. At 17, I'm not writing to save you from everything. Some of it made me, and I wouldn't be here without the hard parts. But there are some things I want you to know that nobody told you then, and you deserve to know. Dear me at 17, God already knows your name.
Dear me at 17,
He knew it before you came. Before the decisions, before the detours, before the years you spent running from a voice that was already calling you.
dear me at 17,
You were never as lost as you thought you were.
ooh.
as you thought. Here's what I want you to know, that you'll spend the next decade learning the hard way. The girl you're trying to impress is not worth the version of yourself you'll become to impress her. Be the version that doesn't need to impress. You'll meet the right one when you are actually yourself. The man you're trying to become to prove something to your father is not the man your father actually needed. He needed you honest more than he needed you impressive. And the church you left at 19 because it felt like rules was trying to give you something that the streets weren't. And you'll spend a decade finding that out at considerable personal expense. I'm not writing this with regret, I'm writing it with the specific gratitude of a man who knows what the hard years built and still wishes some of them have been slightly less hard. Dear me at 17, God already knows your name.
He knew it before you came.
Before the decisions, before the detours.
You were never as lost as you thought you were.
And here's the thing I most need you to hear at 17, before any of this starts. The God you haven't met yet has already read this letter from the future, and he was never surprised by any of it. Not the decisions, not the detours, not the decade of running. He was waiting at every address you didn't expect to find him at, and he will be there in every room this letter describes. You're gonna be okay, and you're gonna be better than okay. And the man you become on the other side of everything is someone 17-year-old you would be genuinely proud of, I promise. So go ahead and live the years you're gonna live, and know that on the other side someone is sitting in a quiet room writing you this letter and meaning every word. Love me at 40-something, who finally figured out what you were always worth.
Dear me at 17,
You were never as lost
as you thought.
God already knew your name.
He always knew your name.
Always. Always. Every previous version of me led to this one, and I want to honor that before I step into what's next. I want to say thank you for every broken thing that made this man, before I ask what this man is walking into. I have been through the things that this collection holds. I have been the man in every one of those rooms. The waiting room, the parking lot, the door I was afraid of, the rubble I handed over, the promises I stood on when everything else shifted. And I wanna tell you something about arriving here at the first day of the rest of it. With all of that still in my body, it doesn't feel like starting over. It feels like starting forward, which is different. Starting over erases, starting forward carries. And I am not erasing anything, I am carrying everything into whatever is next. As the man who made me,
And what is next
is not yet readable, which is the whole point of trusting the one who already wrote it.
First day of the rest of it.
Don't know what that means yet.
First day of the rest of it.
Stepping out anyway. Got my scars and my scripture, got my doubts and my faith. First day of the rest of it. Whatever comes, I'm not the man I was when this started.
I'm ready.
I think I'm ready. I'm carrying the knowledge that grace is larger than any specific failure I have personally produced. I'm carrying the evidence that the promises hold under weight I did not plan to put on them. I'm carrying the man who stood stood in the waiting room and became something in it. The man who drove through the door he was afraid of. The man who counted all the times the faithfulness showed up and found the list longer than he thought. I'm carrying all of that into whatever Wednesday morning is waiting for me after this threshold. And I don't need to know what Wednesday holds. I need to know who's already in Wednesday waiting.
First day of the rest of it.
Don't know what that means yet.
First day of the rest of it.
Stepping out anyway. Got my scars and my scripture, got my doubts and my faith. First day of the rest of it. Whatever comes, I'm not the man I was when it started.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
This is for everyone who's been in any of these rooms, who has sat in the waiting room and grown wings, who has stood in the parking lot and finally walked through, who has handed over rubble and watched it become a room, who has stood on a promise when the ground was moving, who has counted the times and found the list longer than expected, who has taken off the armor because the battle shifted and put it back on in the morning because the morning required it. This is the first day. But whatever you've been becoming through all of that, and you are not starting over, you are starting forward with everything you survived intact in your hands as currency for whatever is next.
Take a step, take a step,
Take the step.
take a step.
It's the first day of the rest of it, and you were made for this. So here I am at the threshold with all of it in my hands, taking the step. Not because I know it's on the other side, because I know who does. And he has already been there, getting it ready for exactly this version of me that all of this made. First day of the rest of it.
First day of the rest of it.
Starting forward, not starting over.
First day of the rest of it.
Everything you survived is currency.
First day of the rest of it.
Take a step, take a step. Grace got you here.
Grace takes you forward.
First day
of
the rest of it. I wanna tell you what it feels like when the thing you were made for and the life you've been given start to align, because I've spent time in both the misalignment and the alignment, and the difference is significant enough to describe. Purpose does not arrive with a press release or a clear announcement, or a moment where everything becomes suddenly obvious. It arrives gradually in the accumulation of the things you can't stop doing, even when they cost you, and the specific energy you feel when you're in it that you don't feel elsewhere. And the feedback from people who tell you that what you're doing is doing something to them that other things haven't. And you look back at the road you traveled, and you can see the shape of the preparation that you couldn't see while it was being made.
and I look back
At everything in this volume, the goodness declared in difficulty, the overcoming accumulated, the doubt weathered, the silence inhabited, the long pace maintained, the blueprint released, the man changed. And I see the shape of what it made me.
I was made for this.
It took the whole journey to say
I was made for this.
not the easy version, this version, the version that required everything I've been through to be capable of it.
I was made for this.
And I couldn't have received it as the man I was before the road made me the man who could hold it. I was made for this. I want to be specific about what I mean by purpose, because purpose declared generically is not useful to anyone. My purpose is not to be generally good or vaguely impactful or broadly meaningful. Those are adjectives, not purposes. My purpose is specific. It involves specific people and specific conversations in specific moments that require the specific combination of everything I survived and everything I learned and everything I was given and everything I was broken of in the years it took to become the man who could carry it. And nobody else has this specific purpose, because nobody else is this specific combination of equipped and broken and chosen. And that is not pride, that is the specific theology of Ephesians 2:10. Workmanship created for the good works He prepared beforehand for this specific person, which is me, which is you.
And the works were prepared
before the workman existed, which means the purpose was designed
before the road that produced you
was walked, which means the road was the preparation
for the purpose that was already waiting.
I was made for this. The whole journey was the making.
Made for this,
not the easy version.
This one,
and I couldn't have received it before the road
made me capable of it.
I was made for this. This is what the whole catalog was building toward, from the muddy water baptism in Volai, to the weight carried to the altar, to the gap stood in for someone else, to the fire that knew the name, to the blueprint released, to the man changed, to the pulse found in the doubt. Every song was preparation for the specific version of you that can walk in the purpose that was prepared for you before you were prepared for it.
And you are ready,
not because you're finished,
because you've been made
into the version that can
receive
what was prepared
while you were being made.
Walk in it with everything the road gave you, with the scars that qualify you, with the testimony that arms you, with the change that proves the change is possible, with the accumulated Tuesdays of choosing differently.
Walk in it.
You were made for this.
You were made for exactly this.
I took the first steps a long time ago without knowing they were the first steps, which is how purpose usually works. You're in it before you recognize it, and you recognize it by looking back at what the steps were building toward. And I am walking in what they're building, and walking feels like what I was made for. And I wanna offer you the same recognition that I found on the road. I didn't choose but was chosen for. I was made for this.
You were made for this.
The road
Was the making.
the purpose was prepared.
Walk in it.
Walk in it.
Walk in it.
Made
For this.
grace wins grace.
Always win.
Made for this.
Made for
This. There's a moment before the jump when every reasonable calculation in your body is telling you not to jump. And in that moment, two things are true simultaneously. The fear is real, and the call is real, and you have to decide which one is louder. I've been standing at the ledge that God pointed at and said, go. And I've been standing there long enough to know every reason not to. The height is real, the distance is real, the absence of a guaranteed landing is real. And the voice that says this is unreasonable is not wrong about the facts, it's wrong about the conclusion, because the facts of the jump are not the whole information. The whole information includes the one who said jump, and what he has proven he does with things he is called into motion. And I wanna be honest that I was afraid before I jumped, not performing the fear, actually afraid. And I jumped anyway, not because the fear left, because the call was louder than the fear. And I decided to live by the louder thing. He called you, jump. The fear is real,
jump anyway.
Jump. Bold faith is not fearless.
Bold faith is afraid and goes.
Jump. He catches what? Jumping required that I release the version of the future I had planned from the ledge, because the version I had planned did not include the jump. And the jump required both hands free, which meant releasing what I was holding with the hand that wasn't pointing at the ledge. And the releasing was harder than the jumping. The jumping was a moment, the releasing was a season of learning to hold loosely what I had been holding tightly until the hands were free for what the jump required. And then I jumped, and what happened in the air was not what I expected, which is apparently how jumps work. When the one who called you is the one who defines what the landing looks like. Jump, he called you. Jump, jump, the fear is real.
Jump anyway.
Bold faith is afraid and goes. He catches
What he calls.
This is the whole Vol X Buddy in one declaration. He set the table in the room you were afraid of. He said stopping is sacred. He was good in every season. The word didn't move when everything else did. You were made for right now, for such a time as this. The race is worth finishing. The name above every name is above everything you're standing at the ledge of. And the question at the end of all of it is not whether you believe all of those things. The question is whether you live like you believe them. You're living like you believe them. Looks like jumping when he says jump. Bold faith is not the absence of the ledge, it's the presence of the one who said go. And the decision to trust the call more than the fall. I jumped and I'm still here, which is the whole testimony.
I jumped.
And the landing was not what I expected, and it was better than what I planned from the ledge. And I'm telling you, from the other side of the jump, that the ledge looks different from here. And the one who said go was already on the other side when he said it, which means he wasn't asking me to jump into nothing. He
Asking me.
to jump to where he was.
He catches what he calls. Long faith.
Afraid and
He catches what he calls. Long faith.
He set a table, he was good in all the seasons.
The word didn't move.
You were made for this.
Finish the race.
Every knee
Knows that name.
jump, Drake's wins.
Grace always wins. Jump. Jump.
Jump. People ask me how I stay grounded. I tell them I stay grounded because I know where I'm going. And when you know where you're going, the ground underneath you means something different. I work the same hours as everybody else, pay the same kind of bills, sit in the same traffic on the same roads, heading to the same kinds of places. But somewhere in the middle of all that same, there's something in my chest that keeps reminding me this is not the final address. Not in a way that makes me check out, in a way that makes me show up differently. Because the things that used to make me spiral carry different weight when I'm holding them against something permanent. My boots are on the ground, and that's where I'll stay till the day I'm called. But my mind is up there,
And that changes everything.
about down here. My boots are on the ground, but my mind is up there. Every morning I wake up, I'm already somewhere between the daily and the eternal, between the now and the not yet.
My boots are on.
My boots are on the ground, but my mind is up there. And I wouldn't trade that tension, no, not yet. I sat with a man last Tuesday who was scared about his diagnosis, and I didn't offer platitudes, I offer presence. Because presence is what you have when you're not afraid of the ending. not because the ending isn't real. Cause you know what's on the other side of it, and that changes what comfort looks like from the inside of a conversation. My grandmother died knowing exactly where she was going, and she made it look like the least frightening thing in the room.
I wanna die like that,
and I wanna live like that, which means I start practicing now. Boots on the ground, mind already ahead. The permanent informs the temporary, the destination informs the road. That's not escapism, that's the whole orientation. My boots are on the ground, but my mind is up there. Every morning I wake up already somewhere between the daily and the eternal, between the now and the night, yeah.
my boots are on
My boots are on the ground, but my mind is up there, yeah. Colossians 3 says, set your minds on things above. And I used to think that meant stop caring about things down here, but caring about things down here. From the vantage point of things above is a completely different enterprise. It means I love my children harder because I know what they're made for. It means I love my wife better because I know what this is a picture of. It means I show up for the Tuesday conversation with the dying man without flinching, because I know what Tuesday leads to. So I keep working the hours, paying the bills, sitting in the traffic, showing up for all of it, with my boots exactly where they are and my mind exactly where it's been since the day I understood that the boots and the mind were never meant to be in the same place.
boots on the ground,
Mind up there,
living for what lasts.
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground,
Mind up there,
already on the way.
already on the way. Every morning, same mirror, same man. And I have a choice about what I do with what I see. I see the record first, that's usually what happens, the inventory of what I've been. A rise before anything else, and it's accurate, I don't dispute the inventory. I see the patterns, the ones I've been working on for longer than I thought it would take to work on them. I see the progress, which is real, and I see the distance remaining, which is also real. And I stand there with both of those things in the same frame. And the choice is what I name it, what I do with the view. Whether I see a man who is not arrived or a man who is on the way. The man I see is the man I choose. Every morning, that's the decision. The man I see is the man I choose. Not the inventory, the direction. I can look at the record, or I can look at the road ahead. The man I see is the man I choose, and I choose the one who picks it up daily and keeps going. That man,
I choose that man.
there is a version of the mirror that shows you the gap between who you are and who you said you'd be. And that version is accurate and useful for about 30 seconds, and then it becomes the thing that parks you in the driveway of who you used to be. Which is where self-pity lives, and self-pity is the most expensive rental I've ever occupied. There's another version that shows you the direction of the man you're becoming, and the evidence of what the last month of choosing has produced. And that version is also accurate and much more useful for anything longer than 30 seconds. And the art is in the looking, which version you spend the most time at the mirror with. The man I see is the man I choose. Every morning, the decision, not the inventory, the direction. I choose the one who keeps going. That man, I choose that man. Here's what it looks like in the practical version. In my specific bathroom on my specific mornings, I look at what I see and I say out loud, this is not the finished version. This is the current version of a man who is in the work, and the work is producing something, and the something is work. The daily choosing of the man who keeps showing up to do the work. And then I go do the work, which is the only thing that makes the mirror speech anything other than a pep talk. The work is the proof of the choosing, and without the work, the mirror speech is just a man talking to glass. I walked out of the bathroom this morning and chose him again. The man I'm becoming over the man I've been. And I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll do it badly some mornings, and I'll come back to the mirror and choose again. Because the choice is the whole practice, not the arrival. The daily choosing of the man I intend to be.
I choose that man.
I choose that man,
I choose that
the
man.
one who keeps going.
I choose that man.
Every morning, same mirror,
I choose the direction.
not the inventory. I choose that man,
That man. That man.
that man, that man. I wanna tell you something about the people who counted you out, from the position of someone who has been counted out. And I'm speaking to you from the other side of it. Teachers who label me, coaches who cut me, family members who pull back when the trouble started, and put a quiet distance between their future and mine. And I don't say that with anger, I say it as data, because the data matters when the question is, who has the final count on what you're worth? And the answer to that question is not who you'd expect. If you've been living by the count the world gave you, they counted me out, God counted me in. They wrote the ending before I could begin. But the one who holds the legend doesn't go by what they say. They counted me out, God counted me in. And I'm standing here as evidence of who got the math right in the end. Every room I walked into already had an opinion based on someone's version of my story. And I had two choices: become what they decided, or become what he said. And what he said was considerably more generous. And I wanna be clear, I didn't access that immediately. I lived in that count for a while. It's powerful when everyone agrees on what you are, you start to agree too. And then one morning you find the other ledger and it has different numbers. I know the plans I have for you, plans for welfare, not evil, to give you a future and a hope. And I read that in the season when the future looked exactly like what they predicted. And my count changed
From theirs to his.
and his count doesn't include their math.
Count it in, count it in. God counted me in.
They counted out, God counted in.
Count it in.
And I'm still here as the evidence.
Count it in. Count it in. Count it in.
I want to talk about what you leave behind, not the kind that gets engraved, the kind that grows in soil you'll never see again after you've turned it. Legacy is not the monument you build to yourself while you're still around to hear the comments. It's not the name on the building or the platform or the following count.
Legacy is what the people
Who knew you when nobody was watching, carrying the rooms. You're no longer in the part of them that moves like you moved. thinks the way you thought about the things that matter, without knowing that it's yours.
That kind of legacy
It's built in the unremarkable, in the conversations you didn't know were defining anything, in the Tuesdays when nobody was counting, and the consistency that seemed like nothing at the time.
what the ground remembers,
Is what you planted daily.
what the ground remembers,
Are the ordinary seeds, the conversations you had when you were tired, the choices you made when nobody was looking.
what the ground remembers.
It's not the monument, it's the root system underneath, still growing after you've gone. I think about my grandfather, who has been gone for 20 years, and is present to me in the most specific ways, in the way I hold a tool, in the way I talk to strangers, and the patience I have in the rooms that test him most, which is his patience, not mine. Running through the wiring of the man I became. He didn't know he was building that. He was just living with integrity on Tuesdays when nobody was grading him, and I am the grade that he didn't know he was receiving.
My children,
Are watching me the way I watched him,
without knowing yet,
that they're watching.
or that
What they're receiving will still be running through their wiring in 40 years on their own Tuesdays. What the ground remembers is what you're planting daily.
not the monument, the root system,
The conversations when you were tired,
the choices,
when nobody was watching,
what the ground remembers.
was still growing after you've gone. I want to plant something that outlasts the planting season. I want to live in a way that my great-grandchildren, who will never meet me, will carry something from, in the wiring they don't examine. I want the ground to remember that a man walked to, chose integrity on the Tuesdays when it wasn't required, who loved people in the specific ways that people know they love, who was honest about his failures and kept going anyway, who made room for the grace that he couldn't earn, and passed that room to everyone who came after.
Not a monument,
A root system that keeps bearing fruit in the seasons
long after
the gardener is gone, and this is the whole Grace Winds collection in one song and one verse,
one final declaration.
from a man who has been honest in every volume about every broken thing and every grace that met it. This is what I want the ground to remember about the man who made all of this and offered it to anyone who needed it. So I plant today in the unremarkable Tuesday with nobody grading me, and my children watching without knowing they're watching, and the ground receiving without announcing it. And I trust that what was planted faithfully in the ordinary will grow into something I won't live to see, but someone will,
And they won't know my name,
and they won't need to.
and that is exactly
The kind of legacy
I'm trying to build.
what the ground remembers.
What the ground remembers,
Plant faithfully
plan faithfully,
what the ground remembers. Keeps growing,
root system
not monument.
keeps growing,
After you're gone,
keeps growing.
grace wins.
Grace always wins.
Plant faithfully.
The ground remembers.
I wanna say something, but you probably need to hear before the day tells you otherwise. You are not here by accident. You are not in this moment by coincidence. You were made for right now, specifically, and I wanna tell you what that means for your Tuesday. Esther was an orphan girl in a foreign kingdom who didn't choose the position she found herself in. And Someone looked at her specific combination of exactly who she was and exactly the moment she was in, and said, who knows whether you haven't come to the kingdom for such a time as this? And the question was really a declaration. The question was saying, look at the convergence of who you are, and when you are, and where you are. This is not coincidence, this is appointment. And I wanna say the same thing about your Tuesday, about your specific combination of gifts and scars and history and placement. Who knows whether you haven't arrived at this specific moment for exactly this?
You were made for right now.
That's not a pep talk.
You were made for right now.
It's the 4:14.
Such a time as this.
You were made for right now.
Made for right now.
Your specific combination nobody else has. You were made for right now. The gifts and the scars, the timing and the place.
You were made for right now.
Step into it.
Step into it.
The person in your life who needs exactly what only you can give didn't end up in your life by accident. The platform you have, however small, is the exact size of the assignment for this season. And the next season's platform is sized for the version of you that shows up faithfully for this season's one. And the moment you're in with all its difficulty is the specific environment that produces this specific thing you were made to produce in this specific moment, which means the difficulty is not incidental to the appointment, it's part of it. Who knows whether you haven't come to the kingdom
for such a time as this?
Who knows if not you,
Who?
if not now,
When? You were made for right now.
such a time as this. Your specific combination nobody else has. You were made for right now.
Step into it.
Stop waiting for the moment that feels more like the moment you were made for. This is the moment you were made for. It doesn't come with a feeling of readiness. It comes with the question of whether you'll show up for it anyway. And showing up is the whole appointment. You were made for right now.
Such a time as this.
Made for right now.
Step into it.
Step in
Made for
right now. Tuesday is the appointment.
made for right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. I wanna say something without the false humility that sometimes dresses itself as spiritual maturity and isn't. I changed significantly. The evidence is substantial, and I am grateful out loud about it. The man I was at 32 would not recognize the choices I made this Tuesday. The man I was at 32 had a different relationship with honesty that was more negotiable than the current version. Had a different relationship with the people who depended on him that was more intermittent than it should have been. Had a different relationship with the mirror that was either too critical or too blind, depending on which version was more convenient that morning. And I'm not rehearsing this as confession, I'm rehearsing this as evidence of a distance traveled that I want to acknowledge accurately. Because the church sometimes teaches us to minimize transformation in the name of humility. And I want to suggest that accurately acknowledging what God has done in a man is not pride, it's testimony. And testimony is a weapon, and I'm not putting down my weapons.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
That's not arrogance, that's testimony.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
The distance is significant. The man I was at 32 couldn't have made it to this Tuesday by his own trajectory.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
And I'm grateful
Out loud about it, out loud.
the change didn't happen in a single moment. I've seen enough transformation claims to be skeptical of the overnight version. The change happened in the accumulated decision. The 10,000 Tuesdays where I chose differently than the previous version would have chosen. And the accumulation produced something that looks like a different man from a distance. And there's a different man up close in the specific ways that a man is different when the inside changes rather than just the behavior. And I wanna give the credit to the one who started the work and kept the work going on the Tuesdays when I would've stopped and left to my own initiative.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
That's testimony, not arrogant.
Distance is significant.
God did this work, and I cooperated with it,
And you wouldn't recognize me from back then.
I called someone from the old life last month who knew the 32-year-old version, and she said, "You sound different." And I said, I am different. She asked what happened, and I talked for an hour. And that conversation is the testimony that Revelation 12:11 was describing the word. My testimony as a weapon against the narrative that says people don't change. People change. I am the specific and documented evidence that people change when the right things get embodied in and the wrong things get named and walk away from consistently over enough Tuesday. I don't spend much time with the 32-year-old version anymore. I check in occasionally the way you check in with a previous address just to remember why you moved. And every time I check in, I'm more grateful for the distance and more committed to the Tuesday choices that keep the distance growing.